his training camps were the stuff of legend. I mean, he would spar 100 rounds a week sometimes, which is just insane.
Yeah. So who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock the world.
1,000%.
Joe Rogan has weighed in on Crawford's intense preparations for the Canelo showdown. He points to Crawford's world-class switch hitting and adaptability, arguing these tools could neutralize Canelo's raw power and veteran savvy despite the size gap. Still, he warns Crawford must be physically robust enough to absorb Canelo's punishing shots, stressing the danger of being physically overwhelmed.
Crawford's about to fight.
Yes, he's going to fight Canelo.
Oh, man.
I just hope he's big enough. I hope he's big enough to keep that dude off him because Canelo hits so hard, man.
That's one dude that, like, I believe all the shit he be talking.
Crawford? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's good.
He don't just be saying shit. That dude,
They tried to say that, like, Errol Spence was damaged because of what Crawford did to him because he was damaged from the car accident. I'm like, maybe. Or maybe Crawford would have done that 3 years ago. I think he's that good. He's just so skillful. He's so slick. And when he gets, and he's also the best guy in the sport at switch hitting. He'll go from southpaw to orthodox and be just as good and trip you up. Like you think he's going to start southpaw, he starts orthodox. You prepare for orthodox, he's fighting southpaw. He feels like he's got you timed better orthodox, he'll switch it up.
Rogan is clear-cut. He's backing Crawford in the blockbuster fight against Canelo Alvarez. On a recent Joe Rogan Experience episode with Jim Lampley, when asked who he's picking, he instantly replied, Crawford, adding, I'm a huge Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think Canelo's slowing down. Rogan praises Crawford's slick movement, adaptability, and ring craft while acknowledging the huge challenge of Canelo's size and punching power.
Which I think is really interesting. The Crawford-Canelo fight.
Beyond interesting. Fascinating.
Because how does Crawford compete with that size? Crawford is leapfrogging. He goes to super middleweight.
47 to 54 and now to 68.
And the Madrigal fight in 54 is a difficult fight.
Yeah. So who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock the world.
1,000%.
I also think Canelo is slowing down, and Canelo is more of a one-punch fighter now than the combination fighter he was when he was young. He uses strength and conditioning. There's very few fighters that just train using skill, just train skills. Like George St. Pierre did that for a certain period of his career.
I wonder if there's anybody left in boxing who trains just using the gym skills. There were a lot of them when I was first involved in the sport who would never have touched a weight.
Right.
You know, they subscribed totally to the notion that that was negative.
Right. And the worst case, I mean, they definitely did calisthenics, but that was it. It was just body weight exercises, you know, which brings us to Crawford, which I think is really interesting. The Crawford-Canelo fight.
Beyond interesting. Fascinating.
Fascinating. Because how does Crawford compete with that size? And, you know, we have to recognize, okay, well, when Canelo fought Floyd, it was 152 pounds, right? So he had dropped down, which was a struggle for him, which is why Floyd was so brilliant in getting him to go down to 152, because he knew he would be drained.
Was it 52 or 54?
Rogan also urged Crawford to enter the fight with caution, again citing the size and power disparity. He promised he'd be tuning in, calling it arguably the biggest fight in boxing. During the same podcast, Rogan unexpectedly veered into a discussion about cartel mule runners while dissecting the matchup, blending combat analysis with unconventional cultural side notes.
When you look at the elite of the elite boxers, to a man, to every one of them, they're disciplined and they stay focused. I'm so excited to see this fight with Canelo Alvarez because I think the Saudi Arabians have so much money. They're throwing so much money at boxing, and the guy who's the head of boxing over there wants to make that fight happen. I think Terence Crawford, forget about the 3 weight classes. I think he could beat Canelo.
I think he can.
On the Joe Rogan Experience, Crawford reflected on his 2023 clash with Errol Spence Jr., revealing that meticulous preparation was key. Everything you saw on fight night, we drilled over and over, he told Rogan, crediting the flawless execution to relentless repetition. Addressing Canelo's size advantage, Crawford said, he might be bigger than me, but big doesn't mean stronger.
Actually practicing it, you know, that was something that when I had the cast on, I was like, man, I love the gym so much. I'm like, man, I'm not leaving the gym. Like, I'm going to practice with this left. And that's when I got the left stronger, because at first, when I go southpaw, it was only, you know, my right. Then when my hand got messed up, just started working on the left, and it started getting stronger and stronger. And I started getting more accurate, because at first, just throw it just to be throwing it. And then, you know, it just got to a point where my left was actually way stronger than my right.
Teddy Atlas frames Canelo versus Crawford as the ultimate size versus speed battle. Canelo has the power and home ring benefits, while Crawford could hold the edge in agility and fight IQ. Drawing parallels to Pacquiao's shock win over De La Hoya, Atlas highlights Crawford's sharp instincts, timing, and elusive style. Despite Canelo's dominance at higher weights, Atlas believes Crawford is very, very special, capable of offsetting physical disadvantages with skill, versatility, and the intangibles that could dictate the fight.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire, it's in his mind, it's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class, can he carry it? You know, but those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
In training, Crawford has revealed a striking physical transformation ahead of his super middleweight test against Canelo Alvarez. Formerly campaigning at 154 pounds, he's bulked up to around 185 pounds, with earlier footage suggesting near cruiserweight mass. Even with the added muscle, he stays lean and chiseled, a testament to disciplined preparation. Yet some remain skeptical. Strength coach Rob Aosta warns that jumping from 154 straight to 168 and above could slow Crawford down and sap stamina when facing Canelo's elite firepower.
On size, Crawford coming in the ring, and Crawford doing everything he can to match Canelo's power, possibly size, and to, at a minimum, try to just maintain what speed he already possesses. Because, you know, when you go up in weight, sometimes you compromise speed. So we know Crawford and his team are doing everything they can to, at a minimum, maintain his speed. But the question came up, okay, since Crawford is looking to come in the ring fast, powerful, we know he's already brilliant. Shit, what if Canelo comes in lighter? I'm like, lighter? Yeah, what happens if Canelo says, you know what, I'm not gonna try to come and just outweigh him by 20 pounds on fight night, because I realize I'm in there with somebody who's very agile and who's probably gonna be faster than me, and although I have timing, he has timing too, so I can't afford to be 2 or 3 steps behind Terence Crawford in my speed.
Boxing coach Greg Hackett doubts Terence Crawford can stop Canelo Alvarez in today's 12-round era. Canelo, battle-tested and durable, won't be easily floored. Hackett believes Crawford lacks the freakish knockout power and the willingness to stand in the pocket trading bombs. Instead, he predicts Bud will deliver a technical masterclass over showy exchanges, noting that only in the old 15-round format might Crawford have the time and stamina to wear Canelo down for a KO. Meanwhile, tensions are heating up as fight night nears. Canelo jabbed that Crawford would find out what happens when a good fighter meets a great one. Crawford fired back. So that means you're a good fighter and Dimitri Bivol is a great fighter, right? Every time you stepped up, you lost. A sharp retort loaded with swagger, and a pointed reminder of Canelo's defeat to Bivol.
How do you feel like he will do going against somebody like a Canelo at 168?
I think Bud, man, one thing I love about Bud, he willing to challenge himself.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're willing to challenge yourself, you can surprise yourself. But that's a hell of a feeling. I think, to be honest, you don't want to sit there and brawl with Canelo, but at some point you're gonna have to fight him. You know what I'm saying? You can't let Canelo press you. You know what I'm saying? Because he great at that, and he a bully. He is a bully. But Bud, I believe, got bully tendencies too. You know what I'm saying? And he could be crafty. But I think if he approach it the way he approached Spence, then we get a way better fight than people think. Now, what I saw when he approached Spence was, I can't make a mistake. I can't let him do too much. I can't let him be a bully. I think if he go at Canelo the same way, then we get a great fight on our hands. Not that I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's gonna be that dominant, but I'm just saying I think we get a great fight on our hands.
Andre Ward, the former two-division world champion, openly threw his support behind Crawford ahead of the clash with Canelo Alvarez. Ward declared, "I'm not betting Terence Crawford against anybody right now," adding that Crawford is the kind of fighter you can bet the house on. While acknowledging the steep weight leap and inherent danger, Ward insisted that someone would have to prove they could break Crawford's will, and so far, no one has managed to do it.
I'm going with Terence Crawford, you know. Big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years, I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
Dimitri Bivol, the WBA light heavyweight king renowned for his precision and skill, has voiced high praise for Crawford. In past interviews, he's called Crawford not just good, but amazing, saying young fighters should study him as a blueprint for learning boxing. In the lead-up to the Canelo fight, Bivol again labeled Crawford one of his favorite fighters, highlighting his size, skill, and all-around game, and making it clear he believes Crawford can win.
I want to quickly ask you a couple of questions. Crawford, Spence. I know you watched the fight and you spoke about Crawford. How good is Crawford?
Crawford is amazing, not just good. He's amazing, and
he said the same thing about you.
Thank you, Terence. But I think he should be in the book for
is that good?
How to learn boxing. You know.
Really?
He's a very good fighter. Yeah, I like to watch his fights.
Pound for pound, number one.
Yeah, probably he is now because he is undisputed champion in 2 weight classes.
It's crazy.
He's a great fighter, yeah. To be honest, I didn't see, I think, Crawford in real life. I don't know how big he is. But the size, you know, when I came to boxing gym and my coach told me that one of the rules, it's like respect the weight classes, you know. You should respect weight classes. But he has a very good skill. He's one of my favorite fighters, active fighters.
Bernard Hopkins contends that Crawford's commanding victory over Errol Spence Jr. left a lasting mark. He argued that the beating Crawford delivered effectively shaved 4 fights off Spence's career, the damage accelerating his decline and diminishing his future durability. Hopkins emphasized that both the mental and physical toll would endure, altering Spence's trajectory long after the loss. It's a testament, he said, to Crawford's ability not just to win, but to leave opponents changed well beyond the final bell.
Crawford.
Believe Crawford, even though, you know, fought twice, throughout the year, Crawford, was...
But look who he beat.
Undisputed.
Look who he beat. Look who he beat. What he did to Spence and how he did it. That's 3 fights to me. And it took 4 fights out of Spence, right? I'm a fighter, so I can tell you when you get punished like that.
Yeah, I was there ringside watching the fight.
It takes a few years out of you. Don't see the years right now, but it sort of takes something out of that person going forward. They still can beat some fights, but it really put a bruise on it. You didn't see Spence fight yet, did you?
No.
Did you hear him name opponent for him to potentially fight? It's been quiet. You see the weight he gained?
Former champion Tim Bradley stays in Terence Crawford's corner, giving him a 30 to 40% shot at toppling Canelo Alvarez. While praising Crawford's elite skill set and ring IQ, Bradley admits concern over Canelo's size and punching power, questioning whether the smaller man can endure the heavy artillery. He also warns that Crawford's stubborn streak could backfire. If he decides to trade punches with Canelo, he risks getting caught.
One more thing. It don't matter if Canelo is on that. He ain't beat no Terence Crawford. You heard it here first. Plus, I look at the performances of Canelo. I look at his last performances. I mean, they've been all right, you know. It ain't been like, wow, blew me away. So I'm not really worried about all of that. And the same thing goes with Crawford. I know he's with Snack, and I know some news came out this week and all of that, but I personally believe that Snack is clean. I think it's a conflict of interest, the fact that, hey, he knows how to beat the system, quote unquote, Victor Conte, but at the same time, I think Snack, you got products going around the world, this and that. I mean, all these athletes are testing. They're not testing anything or positive by using Snack at all. So I think they're safe. There's no doubt about it. So with that being said, I'm not worried about that. As long as they're testing, I'm good.
Robert Garcia offered a blunt perspective on Canelo Alvarez's recent fighting style, especially in the wake of Edgar Berlanga's loss. He pointed out that Canelo no longer hunts relentlessly for knockouts, instead doing just enough to secure victory. Garcia explained that Alvarez now adopts a calculated, body-preserving approach, still capable of flooring opponents but often choosing not to finish them, saving wear and tear for future challenges.
Why is it that Shiraz was able to knock out Berlanga but not Canelo?
It's because Canelo doesn't go out for the knockout anymore. Canelo's just now, we've seen in the last few fights, he just does enough to win. He did the same again Munguia. He dropped Munguia, but then they didn't want to finish him. Charlo, Berlanga. He wants to cruise through the fight. He's up there, and not in age because he's only like 33 or 34, but he's
fighting since 15.
15. A lot of training camps, a lot of sparring matches. So all that takes a lot out of your body. So he takes care of his body too. So he doesn't go all out because he doesn't want to just finish his body. He knows he still has a few more years and a few big fights where he wants to take care of himself and not punish himself too much. That's why he hasn't been able to knock those guys out. Not because he can't. I think he just does enough to win. I think Shiraz also has great power, man. I think Shiraz has the power that nobody believed he had.
Virgil Ortiz Jr. is unapologetic about his pick in the Canelo versus Terence Crawford showdown. He sees Canelo winning decisively. Ortiz argues that, despite Crawford bulking up to 180 pounds, simply adding weight is not the same as truly belonging at super middleweight.
I don't think he is, but if he beats Canelo, he'll be like my #1 fighter of all time.
You don't think Crawford beats Canelo?
I don't think so. And look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147, so I'm just gonna treat him as a 147 pounder. He's jumping up 3 weight classes to fight someone who was like the #1 fighter in all of boxing. The jump would be hard, even if it was just like some top 10.
Right, yeah. Bud, would you say he's a very smart fighter?
Yes.
Very calculated,
Yes.
right? Don't you think that maybe he sees something that most people aren't seeing?
I think he does, but the thing is he gonna be able to even to capitalize on it? Because he's a smaller fighter, and look, I think people are thinking at the aspect of, can Crawford do it? Yes, I think he can do it, but can Canelo do it? And I think he has a bigger chance of doing it than Crawford does.
Favors him.
Now, Canelo, he has obviously the size advantage, the strength advantage, intellect. I think Crawford edges him out in IQ. I just think the weight difference is going to be the deciding factor here. I mean, when I seen Canelo's check hook against Berlanga, that shit was like this. And Canelo's not slow either. This shit was, I didn't see that coming at all. He just dropped him, and I was just like, damn, he still got it. I just think that Crawford just bit off a little more than he can chew, but if he can chew it and he beats him, which I think he can. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he has 0% chance. I'm just thinking Canelo wins. But if he does, he will be my #1 fighter of all time.
Wow, I always knew that you had a lot of respect and admiration for him.
Ortiz underscores Crawford's size disadvantage, stressing that a clean shot from Canelo spells trouble, calling it an obvious win for the Mexican star. Still, he concedes that Crawford's ring IQ and punching power make an upset possible, saying that if Crawford were to pull it off, he'd rank him as the greatest of all time.
And I think he has a bigger chance of doing it than Crawford does.
Favors him.
Now, Canelo, he has obviously the size advantage, the strength advantage, intellect. I think Crawford edges him out in IQ. I just think the weight difference is going to be the deciding factor here. I mean, when I seen Canelo's check hook against Berlanga, that shit was like this. And Canelo's not slow either. This shit was, I didn't see that coming at all. He just dropped him, and I was just like, damn, he still got it. I just think that Crawford just bit off a little more than he can chew. But if he can chew it and he beats him, which I think he can. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he has 0% chance. I'm just thinking Canelo wins. But if he does, he will be my #1 fighter of all time.
Wow, I always knew that you had a lot of respect and admiration for him.
Does Terence Crawford's training camp give him the edge against Canelo Alvarez? Share your predictions in the comments below.